The United Nations Relief and Works Agency for Palestine Refugees in the Near East. UNRWA. That's so totally not an awkward mouthful. But, why is this refugee agency different from all other refugee agencies? I'm not sure. I have a theory, but before I go into the theory, I'd like to talk about how the UNRWA is different from all other aid agencies. A couple of disclaimers. Firstly, I have no anger or antagonism toward the Palestinian Arab people. I've worked with Palestinian Arabs, talked with them, some of them I have people I consider friends. They're just folks, like anybody else. I have a great deal of antagonism toward terrorist groups like Hamas and Hezbollah, and corrupt oligarchies like the Palestinian Authority. Another disclaimer, I'm just a guy. I'm an ordinary person. I grew up on a farm. I work in a warehouse. I'm not an academic or a journalist. There's a lot I don't know, and this video is not going to be very professionally laid out. So I hope you'll bear with me. And I also hope that you will do your own research after you've seen this video, because this is a very important topic of conversation, I feel. The UNRWA, as far as I'm aware, is the only UN agency with a that runs schools that has principles of jihad and martyrdom in their curriculum. There are videos of entire classrooms of children chanting death to the Jews in the occupied Palestine, which seems very different from their supposed slogan of "peace starts here." The UNRWA is also, as far as I'm aware, the only aid agency on Earth where students receive paramilitary training in their schools. Disclaimer, I don't know how much of that is going on. I don't know to what extent this training goes to. All I really know is that it does happen, and it happens enough that a lot of people are really upset about this. Incidentally, the UNRWA also employs a lot of people who are affiliated with Hamas, which is internationally recognized as a terrorist organization. Could be some connection between those things. Which, according to the laws in a lot of Western countries, the governments are forbidden to provide aid to any agency that employs members of a terrorist group. Now, the UNRWA does not actually receive funds directly from the United Nations. It's run by the UN, but it's funded by UN member states, which is why the United Nations has quite literally never run an internal audit. Never. As in, literally nobody outside the organization has any idea how their money is being spent. How much of it is being stolen? How much of it is going into being wasted? How much of it is going into parallel efforts? Nobody knows. Now, why is this going on? How can this be? Why isn't the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees clamping down on this? For the very simple reason that the UNRWA is the only aid agency run by the United Nations that is aid agency specifically for refugees run by the United Nations that is not under the purview of the High Commissioner for Refugees. Why is that? I have no idea. But I do know that that means that UNRWA is not being held to the minimum standards that are demanded of every other aid agency run by the UN. Now, the UNRWA is also different because, according to the UNRWA, which is as opposed to every other aid agency on Earth, the refugees who the UNRWA is supposed to care for, their refugee status is hereditary. Really, the Palestinian Arabs are quite literally the only people on Earth who are legally prevented by the United Nations from becoming citizens in the countries they are born in. That's kind of horrifying. And the number of refugees has just continued to increase for no other reason than natural childbirth. So today, there are over 5 million Palestinian Arab refugees, when before there were quite a lot less. Now, if your intention is to help people stop being refugees, this is absolutely the opposite of what you would want to do, isn't it? Now, okay. Why? Why is it like this? Well, I have a theory. And my theory is that the United Nations, as a group, is anti-Israel, and they don't care about the Palestinian Arabs. They don't. They do not want to see the Palestinian Arabs stop being refugees. They want them to continue being refugees. They want them to be filled with hate and fear. They want these people to be kept in a helpless position where the only thing they can do is to lash out at the people who they are taught to hate. I could be wrong. Like I said before, there's a lot that I don't know. I know for a fact there are a lot of details about the UNRWA that I don't know, because there's I can't find very much about them. Now, a critical person might be thinking right now, okay, if you know so little, then why do you think you're qualified to talk about this? And that is a very good question, because I'm really not. I'm not a qualified journalist, whatever. But apart from this one article, I haven't seen anyone talk about this. I'm sure some people are, but I don't know of any. As far as I am aware, everyone who talks about the suffering of the Palestinian Arabs, as far as I know, every single one talks about the suffering of the Palestinian Arabs specifically in the context of the Arab conflict with Israel. And almost literally nobody is talking about how the Palestinian Arabs are suffering because of UN neglect. I say neglect. I'm being generous here. As far as I can tell, the only way a group gets this screwed up is because someone wants it to be. So this is really important to talk about. So I'm putting this out there so that someone will hear about it. So please spread this. Like, share it. Make your own videos on the topic. And comment below with anything you know about it. I genuinely want to know more. I'm feeling really bad right now that for so long I didn't know about any of this. So If you know more about the UNRWA and how the UN treats Palestinian Arab refugees, by all means, let me know. And I'll also try to find out more. I'll talk more about this. I'll make more videos. I'll try to be a little more, try to plan them out a little more, be a little more focused on particular details of the UN and Palestinian Arabs in the situation that's going on right now. And that's what I got. Thanks for tuning in. And please keep watching and share it. Talk to yourself. Let people know. I think this is a really important thing to know about. And yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching.